Welcome councillors and everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting on the 6th of November 2024. I declare this meeting open at 10 o'clock and I'd like to advise attendees that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. Doing it a little bit different today. Councillor Wilcox, would you do the honours please and invite your guests?
Thank you very much, Councillor Bannon. This morning, to give the acknowledgement of country, I would like to welcome Lucas and Melanie. They are the 2025 Indigenous leaders from Flagstone State Community College. So come on up, guys.
Gingery. Good morning and welcome to all who are present today. My name is Lucas and I'm a proud Bundjalung man. We are honoured that you have invited Flagstone State Community College to do the acknowledgement for your local council meeting. Standing with me today is Melanie. We are the Indigenous captains representing our culture and people.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we stand and meet on today. We acknowledge the people who live on this land and have passed their traditions and knowledge down to others. We acknowledge the elders past, present and emerging. We acknowledge and recognise the sacrifices, hardship and perseverance that the elders past and present have encountered to fight for our people and to walk on their land. We hope that we move to a place of justice and partnership where we can all work together as one.
We at Flagstone State Community College hope that the meeting today is positive and that all can work together to gain a suitable outcome for all. And we would like to give a final thank you for inviting us to such an important event and allowing us the chance to do the acknowledgement for our people. Thank you.
Thank you, amazing job and thank you for coming up. Councillor Wilcox, can you invite your next guest please?
Thank you very much. This morning, to provide the reflection of faith, I've asked Pastor Gilbert from Grace Family Church on Middle Road to attend. So whilst he's coming up, I'd also just like to add, I was just talking to him before council started. He's not new to politics. He's actually a former mayor in Fiji, in a little town in Fiji, which I can't pronounce, so I won't say that. So, but welcome, Pastor Gilbert. Thank you so much for providing our welcome to faith this morning, and it's lovely to see that you're not new to politics.
Good morning. May I ask if we all be upstanding, please, for prayer. My Father and my God, I thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to stand before you today. This group of people, Father, I feel so humbled, Father, but I pray that you be with us today. Pray a blessing, Father, upon the whole council. Everything that is to be said and done, may your name be glorified. Father, once more I thank you. And I pray, Lord, for the city of Logan as a whole. Lord, thank you again for your blessing. In the name of my Lord Jesus, I pray. And we all said, Amen. Lord bless you.
Thank you, councillors. Thank you, Councillor Wilcox, for getting some amazing guests up. Councillors, I note that Mayor Raven is absent from today's Ordinary Council meeting. I also note that Councillor Jeremiah remains on statutory leave with the state following the state election. However, no absence vote is required for Councillor Jeremiah. Do any other councillors wish to seek a leave of absence? There being none, because we're all here. Is there a mover for the motion to approve Mayor Raven's leave of absence as now displayed on the screen? Councillor Bradley, thank you for moving. Second by Councillor Hall. Do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That's been carried unanimously. I now move on to condolences. Do any councillors wish to raise condolences, starting with Councillor Bradley? No, Councillor Lane?
Thanks very much, Deputy Mayor. And Vinaka, Pastor Gilbert, for your blessings this morning. Ted Durkle was a local resident in Division 3, but I knew Ted and his family for almost 30 years. Ted passed away recently. He was one of our 101 FM presenters, and he used to do Ted's Memories. And as he got older, he would pause when he was speaking, and you'd be waiting for Ted to speak again because you were so worried about him. Ted was able to continue on with his radio show after he became quite ill because of his colleagues. So we had Terry, Cyril, Mike, Mel, and a range of others actually going in when Ted's memories were on to actually support him so that he can do his radio show each week. And that's a marvellous thing that 101 FM did to support one of their community members. He's the longest serving host. He played 50s and 60s music. He joined 101 FM in 1986 and he was part of our lives for a very long time. His passing, while sad, is also something that we can learn to celebrate, and his service is on the 13th of November at St Paul's Church. Ted is survived by so many of his radio friends, but also his wife Charlotte. That's a carton, Mr Deputy Mayor. He's survived by his wife Charlotte, who has stood by his side and looked after him for the last decade or more, but also most of their lives together. He will be greatly missed, and I'd love it if everyone could join in and potentially go along and say farewell at the service if you did listen to Ted's memories on a weekend.
Thank you, Councillor. I apologise. I swore I turned that thing off. Councillor Russell, Ledger. St Ledger, yep.
Thanks, mate. I'd just like to pass our condolences of them to Jane Pettigrew, the passing of her husband Alan at the ripe age of 92. So Alan had a really good innings. He was a larger-than-life character in the Logan Village community, and his actual father, William, was an early settler in Brisbane and provided the boats down to the Logan Village community to set it up in the early days. So just like to send our condolences to Jane and the rest of Alan's family. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor St Ledger, Jackson Hall, Tony, Tim, Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you. I would like to pass my condolences on to Daniel, Luke and Josh on the recent passing of Raylene Bartzak. She's a Flagstone resident. She was a wife, a mother, a daughter, a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, cousin and so much more to many family and friends in the area. She was a huge advocate for Parkrun. For years tried to get a run in Flagstone, but Parkrun would never just quite approve that route. So I'm hoping in the not too distant future we can establish a park run in Flagstone and dedicate it as Raylene's Run. Sending lots of love to the family and community as they grieve at this time. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy. We will now observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and support that left behind. Please stand if you're able to join me. I now open the floor for congratulations requests. Do any councillors have a congratulations to raise? Councillor Bradley? Nope. Councillor Lane?
Of course I do, Deputy Mayor. This is Division 2, the heart of Logan, so we've always got someone to congratulate. Woodridge State High School for their Balkari Awards night was held last week. It's an amazing representation of young Indigenous students and how they reach for the stars, and the school celebrated it actually under the stars. We actually were met with a smoking ceremony right at twilight where the sun's setting, and it was just absolutely astonishingly beautiful. Today we celebrate the First Nations cluster, the Deadly Mob Awards at Kingston State College, and I know a couple of colleagues will be coming along to that. Baps Temple celebrated Jai Swaminarayan, which is Anakat Day or Happy New Year Diwali. That was on the weekend, a magic celebration with a bucket load of people going through there smiling and happy. We celebrated 100 years of Woodridge State School just last week, and that was a lovely reflection, seeing all of the paperwork from 1924 when the students came through that school. Light of the World, again, councillor colleagues attended Kingston Butter Factory last week. Light of the World saw about 4,000 people through the gates over a 6-hour period. It was an amazing celebration. It was an alternative to Halloween, and it's actually put together by wonderful volunteers and the churches to get kids out and active and really enjoying their space in the world. The Tokelau flag raising ceremony was held at Kingston State College. The volunteers, the pastors in the community, the Tokeluan community, are such a proud and wonderful one, and I was very surprised to see my friend Kingston from Groves Christian College at that flag raising ceremony. Such a beautiful, wonderful and charming young man, and a great ambassador for the Tokeluan community in Logan, but also for Logan as well. He's well spoken and he's going to be one of our future leaders. This was their first opportunity to celebrate in Logan, and it was a wonderful, wonderful service, and I know that Councillor Jackson and I both enjoyed it very much. That's all I have. Thanks, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. I always enjoy yours. Councillor Russell, Ledger. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you. Last month was a significant one for Crestmead 40 Plus Club in Division 5, and I would like to take this moment to congratulate Mrs Dorothy Cawthray on her 31 years of service on the executive of the club. 31 years in the executive, not just as a volunteer or a member. So Dorothy was one of the founding members of the 40 Plus Club and has held numerous roles within the club over her time, including president, vice president and secretary. Dorothy spoke about her reason for staying in the club, saying, "All it takes is a simple gesture to brighten up their day. You never know what someone is going through or what is happening in their personal life. A simple compliment can make all the difference." So I want to thank Dorothy for all the ways she's contributed to brighten up people's lives and to make Crestmead a beautiful place to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jack. 30 years, that's 31 years is incredible in a committee. So, yeah, hats off. Councillor Wilcox to attest to that. That's a big milestone. Councillor Hall, Fraser, Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I'd like to ask that congratulations be passed on to Oscar Target, who was recently crowned Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge champion, winner of the strongest national level, one of the strongest national level motorsport championships in Australia. He has sealed his maiden national racing championship at the age of 18 years and 10 months, making him the second youngest one-make Porsche champion in Australian history. His lengthy karting career saw him race professionally overseas in the FIA Karting Championship before returning to Australia aged just 16 to commence his circuit racing career. I had the pleasure of getting to know Oscar and his parents at the Logan Sports Awards back in 2022, where he won Logan's Young Sportsman of the Year, and have been following his racing career ever since. I'd like to wish Oscar all the best for the future, for his future racing career. Thank you.
Thanks you, Councillor Stemp. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you very much. I'd like to wish congratulations. On Friday, I attended a UDIA event where it was awards for communities, for developers, for doing fantastic things in their communities. Two of those awards, and there was only about 10 awards that actually got handed out for the whole of Queensland. Two of those awards actually came to Division 11. One went to Avid or Covella for not a master plan community, but a very similar master plan community award. I can't remember the name of it. And the other one was to Enriching Communities for their consultancy work in Everleigh. Congratulations to both of them. As I said, it was like 10 awards across the whole of Queensland. Two of them ended up in the PDA within Division 11, which was awesome. So congratulations to them. And a huge congratulations to Flagstone Super Carnival. It was a couple of weeks ago that they had that down in Flagstone. A couple of thousand people attended. Literally, we cannot get this right with the weather. It's either cracking hot like it was on this day in October, so the numbers were down purely because of the heat. Previously, it's also been absolutely teeming with rain, or it's been really freezing cold. But it was a terrific event to have a couple of thousand people attend, so many cars that were there, and they're fantastic to see, and they really do put on a terrific event, all to do with cars and stuff down there. So congratulations to all three, and I will send through those ones because I did not have them on the list.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Seems Division 11's trophy cabinet's getting a bit full there, so we might have to step it up a bit around you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. We're very busy today. I have two just to mention. Firstly, we're that organised. We've got the certificate ready. To Marie Robbins. She's a local legend, and in recognition of her 45 years of dedicated commitment to Beenleigh netball and community. So that's a lot of whistleblowing for young kids. Her passion and leadership is unwavering and supporting the generations that are coming through. So we'll pass on to this certificate to her very shortly. And the other one I want to mention, Councillor Lane reminded me, was Tongan Day. We had Tonga Day down in Bill Norris Oval over the weekend. We had thousands of people from all different nationalities, and it was an opportunity for Logan to showcase and support those nationalities that we have here in our region. Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Tonga, joined the festival. She was such a gracious woman. She went around and she met all the stall holders, took photos. She was an absolute delight to meet, and I can't wait to welcome them back again next year. Well done to Multisports and Mick Breen on setting up the occasion. We have the Bill Norris Oval where there is 5 courts, the biggest area for these people to come and do their national days. So we welcome them back, and congratulations to all involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. So now I'll refer to the minutes of the previous Ordinary Council meeting. I move that the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 9th of October 2024 be confirmed. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor St Ledger has seconded. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? It's been carried unanimous. Thank you. We now move to declarations of conflicts of interest. I now refer to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors wish to declare any new conflicts or any conflicts against any items on today's agenda, including any conflicts which have been subsequently arisen from matters discussed at committee? There being none, I now refer to the next item on the agenda. We have no business arising from the minutes to consider, so we'll keep moving forward. We'll jump straight to the City Infrastructure Committee. I now refer to the City Infrastructure Committee held on the 29th of October 2024. As chairperson and multitasker of the City Infrastructure Committee, I will now speak to the recommendations. I'd like to shout out to Darryl Riley, the Director Darryl Riley, for your team doing a great job on the reports. Very clearly and easily read, which made it a smooth committee. Do any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Bradley?
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, I would like to speak on the item about the master drainage statement of intent. Previously, Division 1 has been recipient of a lot of master drainage, and I want to pass on sincere thanks to the director and the team below. Had some really, really positive feedback at my mobile office last week in relation to that work's going on at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Do any other councillors wish to speak? There being none, I now move that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee held on the 29th of October be adopted. Do I have a seconder? Councillor St Ledger, thank you. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you. That has been carried unanimously. Would any councillor like to record their name against
I'll
or abstain?
I'll abstain against the whole one because I was absent for the meeting. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Yep.
Any names recorded?
Yeah, anyone like to record their names against it at all? No. So I'm going to now move to the City Governance Committee on the 29th of October. Councillor Murphy, Chairperson of the City Governance Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I note that Mayor Raven declared a prescribed conflict of interest in respect to 6.8 and 6.9 of the City Governance meeting, where he voluntarily left the meeting, including while matters were discussed and voted on. However, as Mr Raven is absent today from Ordinary Council, we do not have to separate these items from the bulk adoptions. Since committee last week, we have also received additional local infrastructure projects for various areas. Therefore, item 6.4, the local infrastructure program for November 2024, will be addressed first and separate from the bulk items, and each councillor should have got a new attachment. Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. I now refer to item 6.4 of the local infrastructure program, November 24. As we received additional projects, we will need to pass a motion to table the updated attachment, which was circulated to councils on the 4th of November. The motion is now up on the screen. It's a procedural motion, so I will move the motion and no seconder is required. I now open the floor to vote on the motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand. It's been carried unanimous. Wilcox, sorry, how do you vote?
Sorry, I actually missed part of this meeting and then I abstained from 6.7 and 6.8.
This is tabling.
This is
Yeah, we're only doing 6.4.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So you-
Sorry, yes.
40, thank you.
End of the game.
Sorry.
Councillor Murphy, do you wish to speak to the recommendation in relation to item 6.4?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I will speak to the recommendation just quickly. The local infrastructure program for November has seen 18 projects endorsed in accordance to the LIP policy and guidelines addressing specific needs of the community. This program is designed to deliver capital projects which directly benefit the community. On the list that the councillors would have received, out of those 18 projects, we address things like footpaths, car parking, netball, court resurfacing, lighting, shade, safety cameras, watering systems, scoreboards, toilets and master plans, and field lighting. We're across a lot of different projects in our areas. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak? There being none, there is a motion displayed on the screen. When you're ready, can I get a mover for the motion? Councillor Murphy, seconded by Councillor Stemp. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. We'll now proceed with the remaining recommendations of the City Governance Committee. Councillor Murphy, you may proceed.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And this is going to take me a little while because we're extremely busy in the City Governance Committee with 11 reports last Tuesday. We were there for hours. Council considered several reports to relating the overall approach to risk management. These included the adoption of the updated risk appetite statement and associated amendments to the risk management and compliance framework. A review of the matters recently considered by the Audit and Risk Committee, and the final observation report from the Auditor General followed Council's external audit for the financial year for 2023-24. So that was a pretty heavy report, that one. Feedback was sought from Council as the first step towards the general rates and separate charges exemptions and concession policy, aiming to simplify and to ensure consistency in the applications of the policy. The monthly financial performance report for September quarter was considered. The Finance Manager also mentioned that we need to be mindful of our first budget amendment is underway, with a focus on Council's growing asset base and the impact on depreciation expenses. 2 rates exemptions, which was heavily debated, were reviewed and decided upon by Council in accordance to the general rate and separate charges exemption and concession policy. Finally, there was a confidential report dealing with the proposed renewal of leases in Land and Beenleigh and Greenbank were also considered. The proposed renewals of these leases was for organisations that have provided long-term benefits to our communities, and renewal of these leases would see further terms and would ensure the continuing of these community-based services. And lastly, the operational plan was also discussed and details of the Quarter 1 performance result. It was a lot, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Back to you.
It was a long committee, but did you handle it very well, as usual? Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak? There being none, Councillor Murphy, you may proceed.
Thank you. I'd now like that the recommendations of the Civic Governments Committee meeting held on the 29th of October, with the exception of 6.4, be adopted.
Councillor Murphy has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Jackson. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That is carried, except for Councillor Wilcox. How do you vote?
I will abstain from 6.7 and 6.8. Thank you.
Would you like to give a reason, or you don't have to? But
With 6.7 and 6.8, I would have liked further information on the properties.
Are they the only 2 items that you are against? The rest are for?
Yeah, that's fine, because I was absent, so that's fine.
Thank you. Would any councillors like to record their names against or have sustained any other particular items within the committee recommendations? There being none, we'll move straight to the City Planning, Economic and Development Committee that was held on the 30th of October 2024. Councillor Stemp, the chairperson of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'll now speak to recommendations. Mr Deputy Mayor, a bit of a quiet committee this round with just one report. We had the City of Logan 2023-24 Investing in Nature Annual Report showcasing the environmental levy funded projects, services and activities delivered across the city in 2023-24. A few highlights included more than 70 environmental events engaging residents from right across the city, the Logan Eco Awards recognising environmental champions, the Environmental Conservation Partnership Celebration Day, much loved World Environment Day poster competition, and of course the Logan Eco Action Festival, the highlight of the environmental event calendar. I also want to mention the bush care and trail care programs, which grew to over 225 volunteers last year, who contributed over 1,200 hours of their own time to help maintain our amazing bushland reserves. I'd also like to thank everyone involved in these project services and activities over the last year. It was a really big year. And I'll pass back to you, Mr Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stepp. I see on your social media you're pretty much always in there volunteering in those bushlands. You've probably done 200 hours yourself this year, leading by example. Thank you, Councillor Stepp. Do any other councillors wish to speak? There being none, Councillor Stepp, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee held on the 30th of October be adopted.
Councillor Stepp has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Murphy, thank you very much. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you. Would any councillors like to record their names as against or abstained on any particular items within the committee recommendations? There being none, we'll move straight on to the City Lifestyle Committee, which was held on the 30th October 2024. Councillor Hall, the chairperson of City Lifestyle, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I note that Councillor Murphy declared a declarable conflict of interest in respect to item 6.1 of the City Lifestyle Committee, where she voluntarily left the meeting, including while matters were discussed and voted on. Therefore, this item will be separated from the bulk of the adoption today. Accordingly, I now ask Councillor Murphy to please leave the meeting until the matter has been voted on. Thank you. I will now speak to recommendations for item 6.1. At the City Lifestyle meeting last week, councillors considered a community benefit fund request. This is a fund that allows councillors to provide financial assistance to eligible community organisations for community purposes. In cases where applicants are based outside the city or a councillor declares a conflict of interest relating to an application, the request is presented to council cohort for determination. And that is it for my... Yep.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the motions? There being none, Councillor Hall, you may proceed.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I now move that the recommendations for item 6.1 of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 30th of October 2024 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall, for moving the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Wilcox, thank you. Councillor Wilcox is seconder. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That has been carried unanimous. Thank you very much. As item 6.1 has now concluded, I request that Councillor Murphy please be invited back into the meeting. Back to you, Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. In the second report, councillors received an update on the challenges involved in the embellishment for a recreational park in Tenamera. While the team have been working hard to get an option to work, the site has been determined unviable to progress. The site will now look to remain as nature intended, in line with the surrounding area. Moving forward, the parks team will now look to assess surrounding park options in this area for consideration as part of future local government infrastructure planning revisions. Just in time for summer months, councillors were presented with a review of the operations of council's aquatic facilities. This review included information relating to the setting of pool entry fees, facility opening hours and seasons. It also considered management and operating models. Some aspects of this report are confidential, and we look forward to being able to share further details in due course. Councillors were also provided a confidential update on the activation of the Logan Metro Sports Park, and direction was sought on its proposed tenure arrangements. And that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I'd like to speak to item 6.2, update on the plan embellishment for the recreational park located at 40 to 46 Murray's Road, Tanamera. As noted in the report, this project dates back to 1992. While I appreciate that over the last 32 years there have been some challenges with delivering a recreational park for this community, some of which were out of council's control, I am frustrated by the time and ratepayers' money which has been wasted in relation to this project. I pride myself on not promising anything to my community unless I have confidence the project will proceed. I received assurances from council on multiple occasions this project was indeed viable. A master plan was created, I door knocked to ask for project feedback and told my residents work on the park would finally commence in early 2024, even doing a story in the Our Logan magazine, as I had no reason to suspect there were problems with the site that would prevent works from going ahead. While we can't go back, I just want to ask in the future, council please carry out better due diligence on sites proposed for parkland before the land is purchased, before a project is planned and designed, and before we tell the community a project is scheduled to commence works, to help prevent this from happening again in the future. I'd like to apologise to my North Tanamera community and say I'm sorry that this project won't be proceeding at the proposed site on Murray's Road. While I won't be making any further promises with regard to this project, as per the report recommendations, council officers will be investigating an alternate site for a local park, and I can assure you I'll be following this closely and do all I can to support the delivery of a park for this community in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and I think everyone knows that you'll push this right to the end, so they're lucky to have you. Councillor Bradley.
Thank you. Through the chair, in general business, I asked about the Olympic venue in light of change of state government with the recent election. I'm just curious if I may ask the CEO if he's heard anything about whether a decision has been made on the Olympic venue.
Through you, Mr Chair, I assume it's in relation to the change of government. They're going to do a 100-day review, and we haven't had any feedback about that review at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. We're all waiting for the answer on that one. It's a good question because it's going to be a big decision for the city. There'll be no further speakers. Councillor Hall, you may proceed.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd also like to add on that, I value any land that we get, which we're allowed to give back to the environment, because a lot of cities, they do eventually run out of environmental space. And, there may be land parcels that aren't suitable to build parks on, but they become significant conservation areas where wildlife, where amphibians have a place to rest. So sometimes we can't do things because of flood affections on properties, but just understand that's a place where frogs, where reptiles, where all the animals that are impacted by developing areas can go to have a safe space to stay. And that's a great place for people to actually go and visit. So I do see value in land that we don't develop into parks because it can remain for the environment as nature intended. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I now move that the recommendation of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 30th of October 2024 with the exception of item 6.1 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor has moved the motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Stemp. Does anyone else wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. It's been carried. Unanimous. Thank you. Would any councillors like to record their names as against or abstained on any particular items within the committee recommendations? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you. Through the chair, I wish to abstain from 6.3, and I stated in committee because last time the control was taken from council, it was disastrous.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Wilcox?
Thank you. I wish to abstain from 6.3 because I didn't agree with one of the AFOF entry fees moving forward, and I would like to see this discussed further in budget. Also with 6.2, it has against on my name, but I believe I changed it to abstain to provide a reason within committee. I believe that it should, all funds should have been returned to the divisional councillor because as Councillor Stemp said, the officers knew that it was an untenable and an unfeasible site moving forward. So I think all funds should be returned. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. There being no more speakers, we'll move to council reports. We have no council reports to consider. We have no late reports to consider. Petitions. Do any councillors have a petition to present today? There being none, we also have no notified motions to consider. We'll move to general business. General business will kick off today with Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I've got lots to say today. Last weekend, the Logan City Disc Golf Club held the 2024 Logan City Disc Golf Open at Alexander Clark Park, a fantastic annual event drawing disc golf competitors from around Australia and overseas. On behalf of the club, players and myself, I would like us to say a big thank you to Council's park maintenance team for ensuring the course looked immaculate with the grass mowed, the branches cleaned up throughout the course and the tee pads pressure cleaned. I know how appreciative the players were, and this was a great example of Council going above and beyond to ensure we do our best to showcase Logan to the rest of the country and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say congratulations to all involved for the Logan City Council Sports Awards that we had on Saturday night. It was an intimate crowd, but the excitement for the awards was still there with all of those attending. Huge congratulations to everyone who won awards, but especially because Division 11, for the second time in 4 years, produced the Athlete of the Year and the Overall Athlete of the Year. So congratulations to Cameron Newton-Smith on winning both of those awards. Also, congratulations to Chris Johnston, who was awarded Sports Coach of the Year. He's done some fantastic things with some Muay Thai athletes. A friend of mine is actually out of his stable and is actually competing, or not competing, but training over in Thailand at the moment. So well done on Chris. Congratulations also to Jake Tyso, who was awarded Young Athlete of the Year. I've known Jake and the family since he was in grade 4. And he's been in the running for quite a few years, and his swimming has just gone from strength to strength. This year he's competed for Queensland and Australia and competed over in New Zealand. So as he continues to reach new heights in his swimming, congratulations to him. And I can't wait to see him representing Queensland and Australia in the future. And I think we can definitely claim Jake as the boy from Logan in his future swimming successes. It's also great to know that Logan City has so many potential young athletes carving out their careers in their respective sports ahead of the 26 and the 30 Com Games and the 28, 32 Olympic Games, and then everything in between. I can't wait to watch them all on the world stage. I would also like to wish all of our senior students the very best of luck as they complete their exams over the next couple of weeks. We have grade 12s who are just about to finish all their external exams and their schooling careers, and grade 11s who are just about to start their exam blocks, including my eldest daughter as well. Good luck, and in the meantime, when you graduate grade 12s, I'd like you to have, either when you graduate or on your last day, make sure that you take a moment to thank your teachers, your staff, your friends, and most importantly, your family. They've helped guide you through your journey on your schooling careers, so make sure you go and say thank you. Stay safe if you're going on schoolies, and good luck on your next adventure, grade 12s. And one last thank you, and maybe Mr. Riley, if you can go and see the contractors and the staff out on site at Teviot Road. They have set an absolutely cracking pace. Can't wait to see them deliver it. They were, as I say, they're sucking out the pool water because there's a lot of dams happening at the moment because we keep getting smashed with rain in Division 11. So literally the trucks are on the side of the road pumping all the water out of the pooling water. But they have set a cracking pace, and it's amazing to see how much work they've done in just a couple of weeks. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. I agree. I think Logan will have the best athletes in the country. It will be the hub of sport. Councillor Murphy, Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, through the chair. My community continue to say they're feeling the cost of living. I have no doubt my colleagues in this room are hearing it too. In the time I've been a councillor, my continued focus has been on the financial sustainability of our city. Reprieve is not in the near future. We're fortunate to have a range of talent in this room, and it's heartening to witness this new generation of councillors stepping up and noting financial sustainability as a pressing issue. All councillors are asking the tough questions with our city's future in mind. Of particular highlight, Councillor Jackson, Stemp, Hall and Wilcox. I also want to highlight Councillor Murphy doing an excellent job as chair. This has given me peace of mind and reassurance. I would like to ask the CEO a question, if I may. In time, I would be comfortable stepping aside as Deputy Chair of City Governance. If this was to occur within the 2-year period, would a report have to come to Council?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it'd be handled via report and a subsequent council vote on it if that was the case. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Lane.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I use general business primarily as what's coming up in the area, and there's so much to see and do in Logan, and it's a wonderful time. Miniature trains are on this Sunday, so for a gold coin you get to run around the track a couple of times, and it's an absolute ball to be on the train and also to drive it, which I've done a couple of times. I know Councillor Hall's dad was a train driver for many years. 14th of November, one of our local groups, Inclusive Lifestyles, is having an event day to showcase what they're doing in the disability sphere. That's in Lachlan Street at Kingston. On the 16th, the Islamic College of Brisbane, which technically is just outside the borders but has half of our residents going there, has an open day. That's at 45 Acacia Road. Also on the 16th, the Kangyong Festival, which is Myanmar community, are having their event in Councillor Jackson's division at Marsden State High School. That starts from 6 p.m, and everyone is welcome to go along and partake in what is a wonderful cultural event in our local community. It seems like Councillor Jackson and I share, because we share a border, we share a lot of things. And on the 24th of November, yeah, you want to do it?
No, you're right.
No, I won't do it. I'll pull up. But the other thing is we also, between him, Councillor Hall and myself, we've met with a gentleman that's running Broken Shackles, which is an upcoming event, again at Marsden State High, that encompasses people from around the city in a beautiful dance and musical tribute to their past and to the future. And that's actually going to be happening on the 14th of December, and there are tickets available on Eventbrite. So thanks very much, Deputy Mayor.
You can plug an event, Councillor Lane, like no one else. Councillor Russell, St Ledger.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to send a big congratulations to the Windaroo Lakes Golf Course for hosting the Associates PGA event last month. We were a sponsor through council in sponsoring this event. We're on a bit of a run, so we've had it for 6 years in Logan, and they've just signed on for another 3. So it brings all our young golfers to the community. It started off with a Pro-Am on the Sunday. Councillor Lane and myself were lucky enough to play in it. I think we were pretty lucky that we had young Yevon as our pro, because he was a local fellow that played in the competition. He definitely carried us. I could have used him carrying me on the Monday because I was pretty sore when I got up. But the Kevin and Lisa and the team down there at Windaroo Lakes, they do a fantastic job. It brings people, we talk about it all the time, from outside Logan to Logan. And it's honestly, if you play golf, get down there and enjoy the course. But let's keep supporting it. And I want to thank the grants team for getting behind him and making sure that we can keep events like this here in Logan. Well done to everyone involved.
Thank you, Keynes. I haven't got time to play golf, mate, being the Deputy Mayor and also to chair him, but anyway. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So just want to carry on from Teresa's, Councillor Lane's advertising of the Logan Pest Fishing Cup, which Division 5 and 2 are hosting in Scrubby Creek in JJ Smith Park in Marsden. Come along, all the family can come. You can register to fish, but just come for the entertainment. There'll be food, there'll be stuff happening. So come along. It goes various places around the city, but this year, Logan Pest Fishing Cup is in Division 5, Division 2, and we'd like to see a whole bunch of those pest fish out of the creek and our systems cleaned up. So thank you. Please come.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. I just want to echo Councillor Bradley's statements before. Having these new councillors has brightened the room up for multiple reasons, so you're doing a great job. Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ben, and I wanted to take this moment to echo the sentiments from Councillor Wilcox and take this opportunity to talk about the hugely successful Griffith University City of Logan Sports Awards that we have. It's one of my favourite nights on the calendar, especially as a City Lifestyle Chair. It's always fantastic to celebrate the many sporting success that we have in the City of Logan with our athletes. Just being nominated is a success in my eyes. If you were named but didn't win, you still get a congratulations from me. We don't always win, but that's not the only reason that we compete in these events. I would like to thank Council's events team for hosting another successful event and thank the sponsors for their support and their continued support of this event. There are many highlights from the evening. One of them was me busting out my ray gun dance moves.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. But another one was also Brianna, my fiancée, and myself had the pleasure of sitting next to our keynote speaker, Jess Gallagher, who has just had the most extraordinary career competing in multiple disciplines as a Paralympian. In fact, she is the first Australian to win both summer and winter Paralympic medals. Through her career, she has won two Commonwealth gold medals, 11 World Championship medals, and in 2024, she won silver at the Paris Paralympics on the tandem bike. She has done long jump, javelin, snow skiing, cycling, and is currently doing rowing. And that's just outstanding. She also has an honorary doctorate in social science and is an osteopath, all this while being classified as legally blind. So it's just amazing what you can accomplish in your lifetime, no matter what you need to overcome. She's a true blue Aussie and an absolute testament to the Australian drive to keep moving on in the face of adversity. I just wanted to mention her. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. My biggest decision was whether to wear my glass, not to read the agenda, let alone just going down a ski slope when you're blind. So, yeah, she's incredible. Councillor Fraser.
So thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, yeah.
Deputy
Mayor, sorry, yeah, acting Mayor. So, yeah, I attended the Sports Awards too, so it's great to meet your friend Chris, who actually won an award, as Councillor Wilcox said, which is great. It was great to see Jake also winning the Young Athlete of the Year award. So I did say to him after he won the award that we'll see in 4 years, probably after he won further things, particularly in the Olympics. So that'd be a great thing too. So in a few weeks, there's going to be an event on in Forestdale, a Christmas event. So there's lots of things going on there. It's a neighbourhood watch that runs that event. So they tend to do 2 events a year. So this is their second event. So yeah, it's great to see lots of things happening in Division 7 too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fraser. And Chris being my friend, I declared a conflict of interest there because I actually trained Chris Johnson. So showing my age, but yeah, I made sure I declared a conflict of interest on that one. I have a little bit of GB. I won't be here for the Christmas council meetings. So my wife went through a journey. Most of the councillors know about it. So she actually had breast cancer. When she started and she went through it, we always knew we'd beat it. So in October, now she's 5 years cancer-free. So she's successfully dominated cancer and has no more tests. So for 5 years, we planned a trip. So I'm actually going away. As any councillor does, I dread going away at Christmas because there's always a flood, a fire, or a tornado or a cyclone. It's usually you get blamed for it. So to the community, I didn't cause it. And if I was there, I definitely would have helped as a firefighter as well. So it's my last one for the year. Thank you. I'd rather be sitting over there. I want to the directors and the CEO, can you please thank your staff? I bang on a lot about how important staff are, but every day staff do something for me which just blows my mind. I can't believe how lucky I am, as Councillor Jackson says, to do this as a job and get paid. You know, we even had success with the TMR issue, which no one else could, and Mr. Darryl Riley chimed in and we got it sorted. So I can't thank you enough for how much you helped me do my job, and I'm very privileged to be here, so thank you. On that note, I hope it wasn't too sombre. We conclude our agenda for today's meeting. I now declare the meeting of the Ordinary Council closed at 10:48. And if the councillors have 2 or 3 minutes after, if I can just have a yap with you. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Shout out to our Mayor, John Raven. So I'm guessing everyone's been following him. I've been watching him on Insta. And it's really cool to see a mayor and when you're at the UN talking about Logan. It's really cool to see Logan City Council up on that board. He's massive, as we all know, on changing reputation to council. And it's not very often I watch a political speech. He's getting up there, but he's up near Jim Chalmers, I reckon. He hasn't got a tear out of me yet, but it's really cool to see the mayor representing the council at a world stage. I think we're really going places. And that's all from me.